If you're looking for a simple and easy way to analyze the US30 market, well, you are definitely in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to share my trading plan for this upcoming week on US30. I'm going to show you my entry and exit zones and just any other analysis or things that come to my head in terms of how to best analyze this market. Let's jump into it. We can see very clearly that price has made an all-time high in the market. It has been pretty bullish for the past 6 weeks, and that's a really good run for US30. And we obviously hope that price continues to push, mainly because it shows strength in the economy. So let's go ahead and analyze this market. So the first thing I want to do is I want to mark off a level right here at the very top of this market, mainly because it's the highest point so far. And then the other area I want to mark up inside of this market is right here at the bottom at 40,232. Now, this is a really far spot to fall to, but it is the last place where it formed a support on the weekly time frame. So now that we got that, let's go ahead and go to the daily time frame. So making this a little bit bigger. So now we can see a lot more market structure inside of here. I want to identify other zones. So the first zone that I see is right here at 42,700 roughly. I want to mark that off. We have a nice support there. And then the other area I want to mark off very clearly is right here at 41,000, let's just say 875, mainly because we have a lot of supports and rejections throughout the zone. And I want to see how that looks on lower time frames. But for right now, this is good enough. And then the other level that I want to mark off is I kind of want to mark off this level. Let's do it. Let's do 40,700 and let's say 25, mainly because we do have another support right here. We also have a support here, and then we got all these rejections, but we'll see that in a lot more detail on a lower time frame. And there is one more zone that I want to mark off, and it is right here at 41,541. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, great. So let's go to H4. So now we can see that there's a lot more detail on our charts at the moment. So let me move this in a little bit. Okay, cool. So right here at the very top, not going to do much to that except for move it down just so that way it's a little closer to the candle bodies. But other than that, probably won't touch it. And I do see some other things, but first off, let's look at these zones that we have created and make sure that they make sense. So right here, we do have a lot of rejections in this area. We do have this candle right here that almost touches. I like this level. We're going to keep it. And then this level right here, we can see a lot of activity. So we can see a lot of activity right here. We can see so many rejections in this zone. This lets me know that this is a really strong support. So I'm actually just going to make this level a little bit slimmer just so that way it looks neater on my chart. And then I'm just gonna play around with some movement. But actually, I think I like it where it was. And so we're going to leave it right here. Now it's at 41,865. And then going down to the previous level, we do see some sort of support right here, a whole bunch of rejections. And then we also see some resistance levels and some rejections throughout here. And then this really strong resistance level right there. So let's just move this around and just see how things look. Okay, that looks fine, but I think I want to put it right here. So now my level is at 41,400 and let's say 75. And I put this right here mainly because we do have a support. We do have rejections throughout here. And then if we go over to the left, we do have a support and rejections. We kind of have some sort of fake out right here, but that's okay because we do have market structure that has formed after that. So that looks good to me. And now let's go down to this level and just take a look and see how we may want to adjust it. Okay, so first thing I see is making this level a little slimmer so that way it's neat. The other thing that I see is possibly lining it up right here with this support level. Now we do have a lot of consolidation throughout here. We have some wicks and just a whole bunch of craziness. But if I just look at the bigger picture and just focus on the most recent price action inside of this zone, then I want to focus on this support level right here. And I'm going to keep my level at 40,600, and that looks like 88. It's all a zone. So for right now on H4, this is good. And then this level right here, kind of the same thing or kind of similar, making this slim. And then I want to move it down so that way it taps into a support here. We do got a little rejection here, but I want to focus on the support area. And now this is at 40,212. So let's go down to H2, see if we can make these zones a bit cleaner. Okay, so very top, not touching that. That looks good. Okay, cool. And let's move down to the next level. Kind of the same story, still looking good. This level still looking great. I like the way that has formed. And then here's that support level with all this consolidation. Still looking good, still looking good. Okay, great. Let's go down to H1. All right, so if we move all the way back up to the top, still looking good. Just looking at my levels. I do see some other levels that I may want to draw, but we'll get back to that once we analyze these. So now if we move this in, we can see that this level is still very popular. So even though we got this zone right here, or these two candles right here that broke, this one that broke below and then one that broke above and then came back and pushed up, I'm okay with that. And then all these rejections throughout here. This is a lot of rejections. So we're going to keep this level because it's a really strong level to have all these rejections. Here, support. And then, okay, so this is a little bit tricky. So now that we're on a lower time frame right here, we do have something that kind of looks like a fake out. But the thing that I want to prioritize is the area that is forming the support. So I could put it at the body or I could put it at the wick. It really doesn't matter. But well, it doesn't matter because this is it's such a short area, but I am going to move this to 40,068. Let's say it's really close to 70 and it's also really close to 40,000 flat. So I actually really like this level and we're just going to keep that like that. So earlier I was talking about making some smaller zones. Let's go all the way to the top. So this is the portion where we talk about my game plan for the upcoming week. So the biggest thing that I see is this support right here. And then if we look to the left, we do see some rejections in this area. And then we also see some support here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this level right here. But we do have this gap here. And I want to prioritize most recent price action. I do want to keep this in this levels or at this level. So what I want to do is I want to see how it looks right here. And what I see is price breaking through and that's okay. Breaking through and that's okay. So we could keep it here or we could put it right where it was before. And the reason in this situation why it's a little bit special is because we have a support here, we have a support here, but then we have a relatively small space right here. So if you put it here, it'd be fine. If you keep it here, it'll be fine. But I want to point that out mainly because I saw that when we were going down in time frames, and I wanted to point that out and make sure you understood that when you start to draw these levels for yourself. So this is now looking good. And this also ties into my game plan. So one of the things that I could see price potentially doing, especially since we already have a number of rejections in this all-time high zone anyway, is for price to come down to maybe here or here and then push up again. So the thing that I've noticed last week, and not saying that that's going to happen again this week, but price really didn't make much of a pullback. It really just pulled back to, a really close zone and then it continued to push up. So it may do the same thing, especially because there's a lot of bullish volume inside of the market, but maybe not. So price could pull back here. And if you're just looking to take a short for whatever reason, there is a short-term short opportunity here that could be enticing, especially because there are some clean candles or basically all bullish candles right here. And price did tap into the zone multiple times. So this could be a short-term idea, but for me, I'm mostly just focused on buys. So let's just say if price did come down from here to this zone, I'm looking for the buy. I'm looking for price to bounce off of this level and then come back up. So one thing I do want to address, and I addressed this last week and it did play out really nicely, was looking at nice round psychological levels, especially when you don't know where price could potentially go. Because if you've looked at all of the things that we drew here, it was based off of past market structure. And now that we have no market structure to go off of, you can look at the nice round psychological numbers and just kind of make estimates from that. So I'm going to draw 3 lines, 3 horizontal rays at really nice round psychological levels. And don't worry, we are going to clean these up, just because I don't want this video to be an hour long. So this is at 600, so we're just gonna clean it up, 600. And then this one right here, 500, so oops, 500 flat. And now we are doing this last line, and this should be 400. Okay, there we go. So here are some levels that price could potentially go to, especially because they're nice round psychological numbers. And if price forms new market structure by coming up here, then that's your opportunity to make new levels, kind of like we did here and here, based on that new market structure. So it's a way for you to get an idea of where price could potentially go in this upcoming week. And then if it does form that structure, then you now have the tools to be able to mark off levels and follow that structure to wherever it may go. So this is more about just showing you how to do this for yourself. So like I said, my idea is bounce here, and then for whatever reason, if price was to come back to this level, I'm just going to do a horizontal ray because it's quicker. But if price was to come back down, I would be looking for price to potentially bounce at 42,400. Let's just say, let's move this down just a little bit. Okay, yeah, so 42, ooh, now it's perfect. 42,400 right here. I really like this level of placement, but like I said, this market is bullish. So for whatever reason, if price was to come back all the way here, I would be looking for the buy in this area. Sometimes price does kind of do like this and then it pushes up. So you may be thinking, oh, this looks like a double bottom. Yes, but generally price is just finding its footing like it was over here. It came up and it bounced around a couple times, or actually a few times, and then it pushed up. So there's a potential for price to do that for this upcoming week. So here's my game plan for this upcoming week. If you like what you see, let me know in the comment section below, so that way I can continue to make these types of videos in order to help you be able to read market structure like a book and be able to take trades confidently by yourself.